as always, James is with me. So I don't even know where to begin, but let's start. Let's start with something simple. Let's start with the college football playoff. We haven't talked about a lot about college football. What do you think about the Final Four being set?
I mean, in my opinion, that's the four teams. And I can totally understand people being mad Ohio State hasn't played a lot of games, and I can see them being mad like Notre Dame.
I don't believe in that philosophy.
I don't either, man. You gotta put the best teams in. They sit there and they're like, people. Listen, dude, I don't get the Notre Dame hate. Okay, listen.
I do. I don't want to see Notre. I mean, I'm a Notre Dame hater, but.
Well, I mean, dude, Notre Dame beat Clemson this year. Yeah, it was without.
Yeah, but come on, dude. That was with a backup quarterback on their own home field, and it still went into double overtime. They needed every break they needed to win that game. Still.
I mean, this is the way I've always looked at it, dude. You got to put in the team that earned the spot. You know what I mean? Even if they're going to get smoked. I mean, dude, almost every team's going to get smoked by Clemson and Bama for the next 10 years. It is what it is. It sucks.
I will say this. I'd rather have Notre Dame than A&M because A&M lost to Alabama by about 1 billion points. They're trying to make the argument for A&M. I'm like, shut the fuck up. You lost by about 1,000 points to Alabama. I don't want to hear it. I really don't want to hear it. The team, I mean, people are going to hate me for it.
Cincy.
No, actually, no. The team that I think should have probably gotten in, and people are going to laugh at me. They'll laugh at the team. I don't really care, but Oklahoma. Oklahoma is playing really good football right now.
Their defense has stepped up over the past
Defense has stepped up. I mean, looked really good in the Big 12 championship. They probably should have blown out Iowa State. If they had blown them out, there's a stronger case, I think, for them. But they kind of let Iowa State back into the game. You know, needed a turnover late to win the game. Iowa State was kind of rolling. So I get it. But I don't know. I like Oklahoma. I think I honestly would pick Oklahoma to beat Notre Dame. I'd take Oklahoma to beat A&M. Like I think that's the fourth best team. But I can live with it. I do think Notre Dame's a good team. I'd rather see them in than A&M. Probably I'd rather see Oklahoma than Notre Dame. But yeah, I don't really have a huge problem with it though. I do think they are one of the the fourth or fifth best team.
Yep.
We'll get into the picks later, but like this is going to be Alabama Clemson.
Yeah. I mean, it's almost a gimme. It really is.
So let's switch to the NFL. Honestly,
hold
probably.
On.
Okay.
Talk about one more thing in college. We're playing Army next week.
Okay. I forgot about that. Yeah. So yeah, West Virginia's bowl game was supposed.
That's a good game, dude.
Was supposed to be Tennessee, and like I was fired up. I was like, hey, I'm willing to beat Jeremy Pruitt's ass again. So.
What happened?
So story behind that. I don't have a problem with Jeremy Pruitt. He actually coached at my high school. When I was in middle school, he was the defensive coordinator at my high school.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
So I like Jeremy Pruitt. I think I think he's a good coach. I think Tennessee needs to be patient with him, especially after COVID this year. But it is what it is. I think we would kick their ass this year.
Yeah.
But I think it's funny that as soon as Phil Fulmer gave Pruitt a vote of confidence, like that was like an article. Like I give him my vote of confidence. They all of a sudden drop out of the ball game because of COVID.
Yeah.
Oh, no. This is, like, my brother told me that. I'm like, that means his days are numbered if he loses the ball game.
Oh, yeah.
And sure enough, they drop out of the ball game but claim COVID. I'm like, oh, that's such bullshit, whatever. And what was great about this whole experience was I remember when the bowl games were announced, Dave Portnoy, El Presidente from Barstool, went out there and said, I will sponsor the bowl game. Whatever bowl game Army's in, I will sponsor it. So Tennessee drops out. Army gets in. West Virginia proves. I remember Neil Brown retweeting him and saying, or quote tweeting him and saying, no need to sponsor the bowl game. Just send the check to West Virginia football. I was like, that's my coach.
Hell yeah. I loved it too.
By the way, he is, I don't think he was ever involved in the Auburn job personally, but a lot of West Virginia fans sweating. It's now official. We can unclinch. He's not taking the job.
Why?
Auburn hired someone else.
They hired from him?
They hired
Oh, cool. Who'd they hire?
Boise State's head coach.
That's a good hire.
I think so too. My Auburn friends are about to freak out. I'm like, I think that's a good hire. Like, considering the mess that their coaching search was, that's not a bad hire.
No, that's not a bad hire. And I don't know. I honestly thought, I don't know. I thought it was going to be like Cincy's coach or something.
Nah,
I
don't think he was ever really linked to it.
I was listening to John Middlecoff again the other day, and he was just saying like how like shitty a lot of these jobs actually are, because you literally have like Clemson and Alabama expectations.
Yeah, I talked about it with my friend Steven. This is a tough job. I think this is a tougher job.
It's a very tough job.
Well, it's a tough job to find a guy, because a lot of people are gonna like the fan base at Auburn desperately wants to be like Alabama. That's what they want.
That's the standard they're going to
exactly. And they have to deal with that. They live in the same state. They have to deal with that and see it every year. And they're like, "That's what we want."
Yep.
And they're not going to take it. Like they're not going to accept anything less.
And it's just never going to be that, man. Like you'll have random years when Auburn.
I would argue the exact same thing's going on at Michigan. They see Ohio State and they're like, "That's what we want," and it's just not going to happen.
Dude, those were the two that he said. Those
yes.
were the two schools that he said. He's just like, dude, he's like Nebraska's.
Like, Texas, another one. Nebraska's, yeah, I guess a little bit, but.
Well, I mean, that's kind of gotten to the point where it's like, okay, people actually forget Nebraska was good, but like, you know what I mean? Like, Nebraska is still like.
I'm not sure Nebraska will ever get back.
Nah, I don't either.
I still believe in Scott Frost. I think he's a decent coach, but.
I think he's a great coach. I don't know what. Maybe he's not a great recruiter.
Nebraska's a hard job to recruit. Like, I will say this, with West Virginia, I think West Virginia's a hard job to recruit. The thing with West Virginia is we are at least surrounded by states with talent. Ohio, Pennsylvania, Maryland, Virginia, Kentucky. We can even go into Florida and get kids in Georgia. Nebraska can't really do that.
No.
There's not really. They can maybe kind of get into Texas and Louisiana and the Southeast, but not around Nebraska. They can maybe get those, corn-fed farm boy offensive linemen. Or defensive linemen. Yeah, who are really good. Wisconsin does that.
I don't know, man. I just don't know. Yeah, Wisconsin's always good because they're really good in the trenches. But, I mean, I was just using that as an example of just like, a lot of these are like dream jobs for people, but they're really not, because it's like you're going to go there, you're going to go maybe 4, 5, 6 years, and you're going to get fired. Like, that's just what's going to happen.
The thing with Auburn, I think that what made this coaching search so hard is not that I think coaches are scared, but they look at what Malzahn did, and Malzahn, I think, wasn't an idiot. I think he could have been. I think Auburn could have done better, but I don't think he was an idiot. But they look at that, and he won 65-70% of his games at Auburn, beat Nick Saban 3 times, most successful coach against Nick Saban.
Won a national championship.
No, he played for one. He won one as an assistant there at Auburn.
Oh, really?
Yeah, with Cam Newton. When Gene Chizik was the head coach, he was the offensive coordinator.
For some reason, I thought he was the head coach when Cam was there, but you're right. He was the head coach.
He was the head coach in 2013 when they played Jameis.
Yes.
But that's another example. Won an SEC championship, played for another SEC championship, played for a national championship. And not that coaches are scared, because I do think a lot of coaches have a massive ego about them and think like they can win wherever they go. But they look at that, they're like, why would I want that? I'm going to be overshadowed by Alabama. If I can't get this done in 3 years, I'm out.
It's just like best case scenario, I meet expectations, and that's just not, you know what I mean? That's literally the best case scenario is I do what they wanted me to do. It's not like I can really exceed expectations at Auburn. Like, their expectations are 11 fucking wins and winning the West.
Yes.
Yeah. Like, I mean, it's just not going to happen. I don't know.
If you beat, that's what kept Malzahn's job for so long, because he beat Alabama like every other year.
Yeah.
And I remember my friends would say that all the time. It's time to fire him. And then he'd beat Alabama. Like, well, shit. I guess we got to keep him around.
Yeah, man.
So college football, kind of a mess right now. I'll say this: we're gonna have, I think, a jam-packed show, James. Unless you're totally against that.
No, I'm good.
Okay, let's just. Let's just grind it out, get it all over with. Christmas is coming up. Tomorrow, we're recording this on Wednesday. I count Christmas Eve as Christmas. I think it's a 2-day holiday. So let's just grind it all out. Let's get it all out of the way, and then we can enjoy the rest of the week. So let's shift gears to the NFL, where the biggest game, I'm not sure, is the biggest news. of the weekend. Biggest news of the weekend was the Jets getting their first win.
Yeah, it was. Not for me. I'll you know what the biggest.
Oh, I know what yours is. We can get in your Eagles there in a little bit.
Yeah, we'll get into the Jets. I mean, dude, Middlecoff is like my favorite like general podcaster who doesn't just talk about the Eagles, like talks about all the NFL. And he was saying like, dude, Gase and Darnold are trying to win these games, dude. Like they get no benefit out of tanking for Lawrence. They're both probably if they get Lawrence, Darnold's going. Like they're trying to win these games, dude.
I've never understood why. Like I get why Jets fans are upset. They want Trevor Lawrence. I totally get that.
Yeah. Once you get to 0-13 or whatever they were, it's like, all right, dude, let's just lose the rest of our games. You know what I mean? But it's like they don't.
These players though are trying to play for contracts, play for the next team to sign them, coaches to get their next job. Like
you get absolutely no like leeway in football. Like if you're not performing, like you're on the bench. Look, Carson Wentz. Like it doesn't even matter how much they're playing you. So
this sucks if you're a Jets fan, but I'll be honest. I'm kind of happy to see it because I said this to you when it happened. I was like, I never wanted Trevor Lawrence in New York.
You never wanted what?
I never wanted Trevor Lawrence in New York.
I did though.
I didn't. I wanted him in Jacksonville.
No, man, that's gonna fucking waste him.
Oh, come on. He's a Southern guy. I think he's from Georgia. Jacksonville's not far away. I think that uniform would look awesome on him. The black and the teal. That's just my opinion.
I mean, I hope so. Dude, they just need to get a good coach, man, and they'll be fine. They get a coach in Trevor Lawrence, they're fine. Dude.
I'm not sure who you're going to get.
Dude, I have no idea. I'm
not sure Dayball at Buffalo would take that job. That's a guy I kind of had circled for them.
Yeah.
Because they weren't going to get Bieniemy or Saleh.
I don't know, though, dude, because, obviously, you'd sit there and go, oh, dude, it's the Jags. Like, no one's going to want that job. But it's like, dude, they have a lot of picks. They have a lot of cap. And they have some pieces. I mean, they have a couple good, the defensive line's pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, Quentin Williams, Marcus May, they have some dudes who can play. CJ Mosley, they got some guys who can play. I even like Denzel Mims on wide receiver and the offensive tackle they drafted.
Is it Mims on the Jets?
Yeah, that's why I said Denzel Mims.
I thought we were talking about the Jags. My bad.
No. I'm still talking about the Jets. Mekhi Becton. So you got a good left tackle, I think, for the future. There are parts of the job, and I do really like Joe Douglas. I think he's a good GM. I think a lot of people would like to work for Joe Douglas because he knew when he walked in this was going to be a long-term deal. Build, I should say. And that, I think, would make coaches happy. When you walk in the door, you're going to get 2, maybe 3 years at this before he really thinks about making a change if you don't get it done.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
I'll be honest, too. I think I texted this to you last night. I was watching some of that bowl game between BYU and UCF last night. I think Zach Wilson's the new quarterback 2 of the 2021 draft class for BYU. That dude can sling it.
Johnny Manziel is what he looks like to me out there.
I think he's bigger than Johnny Manziel.
He is bigger than Johnny Manziel. Yeah, I mean, I definitely think he's going to be in the Heisman race.
Well, because I'll tell you what, I get why Trey Lance his stock has fallen off a cliff. They haven't played, FCS schools I don't think have played much at all this year. I don't think North Dakota State has it all either. So I get that. I don't think that's fair. Like, I'll wait until, the combine and stuff. He'll pick up hype for his combine and pro day. Then they'll go back to the tape. Oh, wow. Yeah, this dude was good, I remember. But the dude I never really saw the hype to, and a lot of other people did, was Justin Fields. I think he's more just a product of Ryan Day, the more I watch him.
Really?
I don't think he's that good.
Really?
I watched him, the Fiesta Bowl last year against Clemson in the college football playoff. I was left kind of he's okay, but I just don't think he's that good.
Yeah.
And then against Northwestern, he didn't show me otherwise. Sometimes he does look good, but I don't know.
No, I don't think that's incorrect. I really don't. So
I think he's probably the third or fourth, maybe even fourth. I like Trey Lance more than him. I think Kyle Trask could be better than him.
I don't know. I think he. I'm trying to come up with a pro comp for him.
I mean, I don't know. I haven't seen him enough. I will admit that, but
I just think he's a good enough athlete that a place that isn't a poverty franchise where he's going to have to put the whole thing on his back, I think he'll be okay. But that's what it's looking like right now. Honestly, looks like he's probably going to go to. I don't know.
Maybe the Jets. If you really want to take him at 2, I think that there are other teams that are going to be in the search for a quarterback. Like, I think Denver could be in the search for a quarterback. I'm not sure they would take him, though. By the way, let's go ahead and talk about that. The Broncos and Bills game. If you're John Elway, you got to be kicking yourself. You had an opportunity to draft Josh Allen, passed on him, took Bradley Chubb, who's a fine player.
And you want to know what's so fucking funny? That's such an Elway pick.
Yes.
Josh Allen would have been such a. Oh, they just picked the fucking.
He went to Wyoming. He was right up the road.
Dude, he loves the big guy that just has a cannon but has no you know what I mean? It's completely undefined.
I'm so glad he went into Denver and just tore up the Broncos defense. I'm so glad because he's perfect where he is in Buffalo. The Bills deserve him after such a long time in between Josh Allen and Jim Kelly. They finally have a really good team again. The Bills deserve him. The Broncos deserve nothing.
No. I love the Bills being good. It's like my favorite thing.
Again, Bradley Chubb, fine player. I'm not sure he's really that good. He's a fine player, though. I'm not disputing that. Good pick. But Josh Allen was right there. And you passed on him.
Yeah. Especially when you had Von Miller. It's like, I get it. That's a premium position. Come on, man. I was big on Josh Allen, and so were you. So
we're Josh Allen stands. My allegiance has shifted. Obviously, I love Aaron Rodgers more than any other quarterback in the league. I would put Mahomes second. And then third was Carson Wentz. But it has now shifted to Josh Allen. And, Rodgers and Mahomes are always good. So I have to have a new one to cheer for, and it was Wentz. But now that he stinks, I just can't get behind him anymore. I got to turn my back to him, and it kills me. But Josh Allen is my new outlet. And mostly because I called it when he came out. I was like, this dude's going to be good. Give it time. He's going to be good. And it's year 3. A quarterback rarely makes the jump in year 3. It's usually from year 1 to year 2, but he went from year 2 to year 3, and he's amazing. I think top 5 quarterback in football, without any question.
Indisputable this year. Now, if you want to sit there and take longevity and stuff into account and say, yeah, he hasn't done it long enough for him to be that high, but you're going top 5 quarterbacks in the season. Josh Allen's probably 3, dude.
I would say
four.
Rodgers, Mahomes, Wilson. And then, probably Allen. Or, no, I'm sorry, Deshaun Watson, then probably Allen. You could really talk me into putting Josh Allen ahead of Deshaun Watson, though. So, let's go ahead and talk about the game of the week, Chiefs and Saints. I know the Saints made this a close game. But I walked out of that game thinking the Saints are done. There's no way they might win a game in the playoffs, but I don't think they can win 2.
My takeaway from that game is the Chiefs are legitimately so much better than even the Saints. Yes. There's a gap.
If it weren't for self-inflicted, just stupid mistakes by the Chiefs, they would have blown the Saints out.
I think they're bored. I think the Chiefs are bored. I think they know they're so good. There's no fans. They're already.
Yeah, maybe. I shouldn't say maybe. That's definitely a factor. But the Saints are a game you should get up for. It's a 10-win team on the road. Again, I know fans aren't there, but you should be licking at your chops to play a team like that, a playoff team like that.
So easy. They make it look so easy,
man. Do you think the Chiefs can win the Super Bowl playing like this?
What'd you say?
Do you think they can win the Super Bowl with the way they're playing?
100%.
I'm 50-50. There's a part of me that's hey, they're winning games. We know what they can do, but there's another part they cannot keep this up.
Shane, they've won like 26 out of 27 games.
They're due. They're due.
Patrick Mahomes is one of them guys that's never due, bro.
I know. Like I'm mostly I think just trying to talk myself into like maybe Green Bay can steal one.
You're gonna have to score 40 points to beat the Chiefs. I just don't see anyone doing it. Maybe Josh Allen, if he got really, really hot one night, we called him like the game that they just called him in, and he fucking just happened to outdo Mahomes for one night. Like, possible, but.
I mean, we know what their offense can do. I honestly don't think their defense is that good.
Dude, the Steelers suck now.
Yes.
The Bills are good, but they're not on the Chiefs level. The Titans aren't as good as the Chiefs, not even close. AFC West teams, I mean, it's not there. It's just not there. I mean, the Raiders beat them once, and the Raiders always play them good, but I'm telling you, man, I think that once the playoffs come around and it's go time, they're going to just start the fuck out.
I still stand by that. I think maybe now that the Ravens are getting hot again, but the Browns and Ravens are the best chance to beat the Chiefs right now.
I agree.
Not that I don't believe in Buffalo. It totally depends on their pass rush, which has kind of been non-existent.
I really hope, like, dude, Baker Mayfield, like, getting to the AFC Championship game or something.
Dude, I would love for him to go into Arrowhead Stadium in round 2 and just sling it, and and Cleveland pulls off an upset. Nothing against Kansas City. I love Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid, but I love Cleveland. I'm dying for that fan base to have a good team. But yeah, that's the Chiefs Saints. Again, I walk out of that. Chiefs are still pretty good. I know what they can do, but the Saints, I think the Saints are done. Drew Brees has a noodle arm. Like, I heard Lefko talk about it, and he was talking about guys. Now that there's only one bye week on each side of the bracket, and knock on wood, it seems like Green Bay is gonna lock it up. He was talking about maybe we see these teams like just rest guys because it doesn't really matter. And he was talking about the Saints. He was like, Michael Thomas, take a break, get healthy for the playoffs. And he listed some guys, and then he got to Drew Brees, and he goes, this dude's got to play. He's got to stretch out that arm. He looked awful.
Damn, dude.
He did look awful. He was like 0 for his first 7 passes. He had 44% completion percentage.
Dude, I feel bad for him because he's hurt. I don't think he's obviously shot. He's a shot fighter, but he still has something in the tank, dude. But he's hurt.
Are we sure? Are we still sure it's a rib injury? He took a shot in the ribs during the game from I forget who on the Chiefs, but he threw the ball and just like the dude really probably should have been some sort of penalty, but like just targeted the ribs, and he got back up no problem. And I keep thinking, are we sure it's his ribs?
Maybe they bullshitted.
I think they did. And and then they try to say he has 11 and he's only out 3 weeks. There's no way. I knew a dude in high school who I think fractured maybe 2, maybe 3 or 4 ribs, and complained. And this was a tough dude. Wrestled for the high school, and complained about it for weeks. Just how much it hurts.
When I broke my leg, I broke my ribs too, and it hurts to breathe. Like every time you breathe, all day.
How long did it hurt?
A few months at least.
Yeah, I don't think there's any way Drew Brees is ready to play.
No. And to be honest with you, I mean, listen, Taysom Hill is what he is, but like, I definitely think you can win games with Sean Payton and Taysom Hill.
I will say this: I walked out of that game, and I'm not a Taysom Hill guy, but I walked out of that game thinking Taysom Hill gives this team a better chance of winning.
Exactly. Yeah, I agree.
Drew Brees is just not it. He just can't throw the ball down the field.
He's just.
This team, I don't think they're going to win out. I've talked to you. I think they're going to drop one of these next 2 games.
The Saints?
Yes. Against either Minnesota or Carolina. I know neither team is that good.
I can see that losing. You did say you might pick Minnesota against them. I could see that.
We'll get into that in a little bit, but yeah. What else can we talk about? Your Eagles. Talk about your Eagles. Even though it was a loss, it had to feel like a win.
That was best case scenario.
Yeah.
Jalen Hurts plays out of his mind. They lose the game. That's exactly what I wanted to happen.
Your boy, or I should say, our boy Lefko is all in on Jalen Hurts. He thinks he's the real deal after 2 games. I'm not that sold just yet, but dude, he played well.
Listen, you can never just go all in on somebody over a few games, but I don't see one trait that Jalen Hurts has that isn't going to make him successful in the NFL. First of all, just all time, like just human being, like hard worker.
Yeah, I like the guy. I think he's a really good guy.
So you never have to worry about that, which is such a big thing. I mean, that's why I think dudes like Josh Allen end up working out because they're coachable. They go in, they put their head down, they work. Dude, first of all, I know the team likes to play for him. I like the fact that I think that he's Dak Prescott, but like a little souped up.
I was just about to say, like, I think he is best case scenario, maybe a Dak Prescott.
But no, I think best case scenario, he's a better Dak Prescott. I think his floor is probably somewhere around a Dak Prescott. I mean, they're both, athletic, but not like, crazy athletes like Lamar Jackson. But Jalen Hurts is a fucking athlete, dude.
Yes.
He runs to the 5. He knows how to get down. He's only been injured one time his whole football career. I don't know, man. And I sit here and it's like, listen, dude, if any team is willing to throw a first-round pick at the Eagles, dude, Carson Wentz has to go. I don't care about dead money. I don't believe in.
I think you give him up for really not anything that comes your way, but like if it's a third,
I agree.
Like get rid of him.
I agree. It's just well, they sit there and it's just dead money. It's like, dude, you're spending that money anyway. Why completely ruin the season next year? Like,
I don't think that's a huge deal.
I don't either. Dude, it's a lot of dead money, and obviously next year's the worst year to have dead money because of all that shit. But it's like, dude, you're going to be paying your starting quarterback and your starting left tackle under $3 million combined.
Yes.
Like, eat the dead money for a year. It is what it is. Get your assets.
Yeah, just eat it. I mean, this offseason is going to be really hard for teams to get better.
Yep.
So if you're the Eagles, I think just bite the bullet.
Yes.
Take it. You're not going to get a lot better this offseason with the way the cap is going to be structured.
Jalen Hurts might be the next fucking Russell Wilson for all we know, dude. Like, he's out there. The team likes to play for him. Everybody's open all of a sudden. It's amazing.
Yeah.
I feel like nobody was ever open. Now everybody's open. It's just, dude, he had a better game right there than Wentz has had since his MVP year. Yeah, Wentz has not had a game that good 2018, 2019, 2020.
It's a shame. I still love Carson Wentz.
I love him, dude. He's a good person. I
Yeah.
love him. That's where I want him to go somewhere. I want him to go win a Super Bowl. Like, I would love that. Go win a fucking Super Bowl.
I would love for him to go to either Indianapolis or Denver. I think he'd be such a great fit in Denver.
Or San Fran. But, dude, he can't. He's not going to be able to overcome all this. I mean, dude, if he doesn't win a Super Bowl, he's going to be viewed as a failure in Philly, and I don't like that for him. I want him to go somewhere where they appreciate him and his talent, and they actually have a good roster that isn't old and slow like the Eagles. Like, dude, the Colts would be perfect. The Colts are like another good draft and like a free agency period away from a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
So,
another game.
Last thing I'll say, I am all in on Jalen Hurts.
Hey, I don't blame you. I mean, it's exciting. It's exciting. I'm hoping. Obviously, we won't get to know this year, but I'm hoping I feel something similar when I get to watch Jordan Love next preseason potentially. And if he plays well, I'm going to be excited. But it's preseason.
If you guys clinch somehow, do you think he'll play Week 17?
No. I don't know. And it's not impossible. I guess we'll go ahead and talk about Green Bay. I guess we can. I was going to wait because we didn't play very well. So Green Bay scores on its first 3 possessions, and I'm thinking, wow, okay, we showed up. This is going to be a blowout. I was a little worried about Carolina. Then all of a sudden the offense stalls. We can't stop Carolina's pass rush, who does have a pretty good pass rush. But they got to Rodgers 5 times. I don't think he's been touched that many times all year, or maybe except Tampa. But he hadn't been touched for weeks. Like, he's maybe been sacked like 1 time before that game in like 3 or 4 games. So just a bad game. Aaron Jones played well though. A.J. Dillon came in and had a really good run. Did what they had to do. I don't know what Matt Rule was doing. So Matt Rule, they have a big play to, I think it was DJ Moore. Goes for like 40 yards. First down right before the 2-minute warning, and he elects to kick a field goal to make it an 8-point game instead of trying to get a touchdown. I don't get that thought process at all. I get it that you need a field goal at some point. You were down, 11? Yeah, 11. I get that. You need it at some point. But I feel like that should have come at, like, 3rd down. Like, not at 1st down.
Yeah, I agree.
And it almost worked. I mean, they did stop Green Bay the following possession. They did get the ball back. But like they got the ball back at like their own 10-yard line. They had to go 90 yards. I'm not even sure they went 15 yards that drive. They went backwards a bunch. So I don't really know what Matt Rule was doing. Carolina's heading in the right direction with him. And I was like, I texted you after the game. Like, I was ready to walk off a cliff. I was like, this is embarrassing. This is embarrassing. We can't struggle with the Panthers and think we're a good team. And then I looked it up. Carolina played tough with Kansas City. Kansas City struggled with them. Who else? There was another team. I think maybe New Orleans, I think, was the other team that struggled with them. New Orleans and Kansas City beat Carolina by combined, I think it was 5 points.
Yeah.
We beat them by 8 points. So it makes me feel a little bit better.
I was trying to tell you, man, like, dude, well-coached teams are rarely going to get blown out because everybody's going to keep fighting.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's what I think. I think Carolina's a well-coached team. I think they have an absolutely atrocious roster, and they probably could have been, one of the 2 or 3 worst teams in the league with a worse coach, in my opinion.
Yeah.
With McCaffrey out and everything.
I agree. Matt Rule is really getting the most out of this roster.
Yes.
Their defense really isn't that good. They do have some guys I like Brian Burns is good. The Chin player, I think his name is Jeremy Chin. Good player. Derek Brown in the interior, really good player. Shaq Thompson. They have some dudes on that defense that I think are pretty good. Offensively, Teddy Bridgewater's not the guy. I've been saying that since he was in Minnesota. He's not any good. Obviously, a tough break with McCaffrey getting hurt. Their O-line's not good at all. They do have some good pass catchers, though. So I don't think it's going to be a long rebuild with this team. It could be done like that.
That might be a blessing in disguise.
This is another team. Like, I would not be shocked if Carolina took a quarterback in the first round.
Yeah, same. That's where I think one of those, like the 4th or 5th QB could go to because I think they might trade back or something even if.
Hey, if they did, I would applaud them for it because they could probably still get Trey Lance or somebody.
That's exactly my thought process. They could get old dude from Alabama or something like that, or even like a Kyle Trask or something from Florida, and yeah, that's what I would try to do.
This is the scenario. I don't know about the Chiefs. I know that they can wrap it up this week. I don't know what has to happen. I'd imagine if they won, if they just won, because Buffalo's 2 games back and they have the tiebreaker. So I think if Kansas City just wins this weekend, they lock up home field.
That's it.
Green Bay has to win either against Chicago. Like, that's pretty much it. If we can beat Chicago, it's over. This week doesn't matter. If we lose to Tennessee, it does not matter because we have the tiebreaker.
Has Chicago ever played spoiler for Green Bay ever, like in history?
Yeah, it happened in 2013. Both teams met in Week 17 in Chicago. Basically, winner won the division. Loser was left out of the playoffs. That was the year Aaron Rodgers broke his collarbone the first time. Had the Hail Mary pass to Randall Cobb with under a minute left. So it's happened before. I guess you could call that spoiler. What was that?
I said, my bad, man. Do you see me?
No. Okay, now I do.
Yeah, sorry about that. I mean, I pretty much agree with you there. I do pretty much agree with you there. I do think, coming back to the Packers, I do think that you're a little too harsh on them, Shane.
I know. I'm way too close to the situation.
You like style points. I'm the same way, though, when your team's actually good, and you're like, oh, we actually are like...
But this is 2 games in a row, and I know you have, you've taught me off a ledge the last 2 weeks. But we should have beat Detroit by about 20 points. We should have beaten Carolina by about 10 to 17 points. But, like you said, Detroit's a divisional game that was on the road. I get it. And then Carolina has hung tough with several teams this season. I saw they were 2-8 in one-possession games. This could easily be a playoff team.
Yeah. If they were... Didn't you guys go have a crazy record in one-possession games last year?
Yes. 8-1.
Yeah, I was going to say. Well, at least you guys have kind of held that end of the bargain up. I mean, you guys are obviously you can't be any worse than something in 3.
Well, when you have, I've always thought. I mean, you should be about 500.
Yeah. Yes.
In one-possession games, it's the NFL. But obviously, when you have a guy like Aaron Rodgers, you're going to win the majority of those one-possession games.
Yeah.
And we have this year has been that we've regressed. To quote Adam Lefkoe, we have regressed more to the mean in terms of one possession games. We've only had 6 this year in 14 games, and we're 4-2 in those games. So it's been about even. But when you have Aaron Rodgers, you ought to win more one possession games than you'll lose.
It should definitely not be 500 at that point.
Yeah. So Kansas City just needs to win this weekend to clinch home field. Green Bay can clinch it this weekend. I think we need the Rams to beat the Seahawks, and then we need to beat the Titans to clinch. I really don't want that to happen. I've seen this movie before. When we clinch in week 16, we sit the starters week 17, get home field, and then we lost to the Giants in the divisional round. I've seen that movie before. I do not like its ending. So I hope, I'm cheering, I guess, for either to lose to the Titans, which I really don't want to do, or the Seahawks to beat the Rams. Then we can go into week 17. We probably won't lose. We won't be out of sync completely for the playoffs after we play Chicago, which I think we would win anyway. But I'm trying to think of what else. The Browns look good on Sunday Night Football. Oh, Steelers losing to the Bengals. Steelers are bad.
Dude, I watched that game. Big Ben is not looking good.
That was what, Monday night? I was working, and I was getting some stuff done for work, and then I walked downstairs. I'd kind of checked my Twitter while I was working, and then I walked downstairs, and I'd seen a lot of my Steelers friends, like, freaking out on social media, like, oh my gosh, what are we doing? And I thought, okay, clearly it's not going well. And I walked downstairs, it was already 17-0. Cincinnati, I'm like, whoa.
Yep.
This is not
honestly,
good.
Dude, like, if Joe Burrow was playing, or since he was any better, that would have been an absolute blowout. Like, that game wasn't that close. I watched the beginning of the game when Big Ben was just tossing picks and shit. It was bad, dude. It was bad. Very bad.
Yeah. 17 of those points came off turnovers, I believe.
Exactly.
But the Steelers are in. It was already. I think I heard Booger McFarland say it's not panic time yet. I'm like, what? Where the fuck have you been? It has been panic time in Pittsburgh for over a week.
I was gonna say.
Like I said it after last week. It was panic time. Now it is for sure hitting the panic button time for Pittsburgh.
It's no question.
I'm not sure. I told you. I don't think this team wins another game.
No, you were telling me that, and I actually think you said that last week. You were like, yeah, they'll probably beat the Bengals.
I did think they would beat Cincinnati, and then I thought they would lose their last 2 games. But all they needed was to beat Cincinnati, like win and you're in. But now they lost. They got Indianapolis and Cleveland left. One of those games on the road. I'm not picking them to win either of those games. Spoiler alert, but I'm not.
How do you lose to Ryan Finley, dude? Like, that's insane.
When I was doing my picks this week, I have about 12 that I feel good about. And I was going over that Cincinnati, I think it's Cincinnati-Houston. And I thought, maybe Ryan Finley gives this team a better chance of winning. And then the more I thought about it, I was like, no, he doesn't. Nope. Because only, 17 of those 27 points were off turnovers. Pittsburgh killed them, Pittsburgh shot themselves in the foot.
Exactly.
I don't think Cincinnati is a better team with Ryan Finley. So, I guess that gives away who I'm picking that game. But Pittsburgh's just in trouble. I don't know how else to say it.
They're in big trouble, man. They were playing very complimentary football, and they lost the players.
I don't know if I can't see them turning it around at all. They don't run the ball well. They haven't run the ball well all year. They throw the ball way too much. Big Ben has a noodle arm right now, apparently. Defensively, they just had too many injuries. It's just bad luck with Devin Bush and Bud Dupree getting hurt.
Yep.
And even then, they're still playing pretty good defense. But I don't think this team beats the Colts. And all of a sudden, we're looking at Week 17. If the Steelers lose and the Browns win.
Yeah, baby. AFC North chance.
The Browns, I would take the Browns to win that game.
No,
Browns win the AFC North.
100%. I don't even think it would be that close as the way they're playing right now.
No, I will say this. Pittsburgh, I think, can still sneak into the playoffs. But they would need, I think, the Dolphins to lose. Or, maybe the Ravens to lose. Or something. But this could go from number 1 overall seed at 11-0 to they barely sneak in with the 5th, 6th, or 7th seed.
That would be absolutely insane. That would have to be one of the first times that's ever happened in league history.
Yeah. What else can we talk about? Nothing really else happened. Oh, kind of big news. First time in 12 years, 12, 13 years, I can't remember which, Patriots aren't making the playoffs.
I think it was 12.
It was 2008, I'm pretty sure.
That's it's pretty crazy, man. Like, it's crazy to think that basically all of my adult life, the Patriots have just absolutely dominated and you can't like dominate the NFL, but the Patriots did somehow. It's just I don't know, man. It's crazy. I want to see how Bill Belichick reacts to this. I mean, is he just going to come out next year?
Yeah, because this week is going to be very interesting. They have a matchup with Buffalo, and I'll be honest, I won't say I'm 50-50 on it, but I think the Patriots might play spoiler.
No, they definitely could. They obviously know that team really well. Bill Belichick's not going to let Josh Allen throw for fucking 350 yards and 3 TDs. I can tell you that much.
But I'm not totally surprised about New England missing the playoffs. I don't think either of us picked them to make the playoffs.
Nope.
We thought after they got Cam Newton that they were a playoff team. But after all the opt-outs, I'm not shocked at all. I'm honestly surprised they did this well, I suppose. Although, I should say, I'm not sure I should say that. They have beaten teams that I don't think they should have this year. This season could have gone a lot worse. But
Absolutely.
I think I picked them to go about 7-9 this year, maybe 6-10.
It looks like they're about to go 7-9. So
Yeah, I think who's their last game?
Good question.
I know they play Buffalo this week. I'm not sure about I think it's the Jets. It's the Jets.
Yeah. Okay.
I would pick them to go 1-1, so 7-9. Speaking of which, let's go ahead and get to our picks. Let's start things off with college, though. Let's go ahead and pick the New Year's 6 games. There's only 6 of them, so, I mean, duh. But let's go ahead and do that. Get it out of the way. Let's start with the Sugar Bowl. Number 7, Florida against Oklahoma. Florida right now is just a 2.5-point favorite.
That's tough, man. Yeah, I would have definitely went Florida until you gave me that little spiel on Oklahoma earlier.
Oklahoma, like no one's talking about it. Oklahoma playing surprisingly good defense. I think they're like top 8 in the country in run defense. I don't trust Florida's defense to slow down Spencer Rattler. I at least think Oklahoma's defense can get some stops.
All right, I'm gonna go Oklahoma.
Like one of my SEC friends texted me, and because he felt crazy, and he was like, "Am I crazy to think Oklahoma's gonna win that game?" And I was honestly thinking the same thing. I'm gonna take the Sooners.
I'm honestly surprised, but you gave me some good information. You left coded me there.
Left code. That's what I'm here for. All right, Peach Bowl, Georgia, Cincinnati. I really want to go Cincinnati here. I really, really want to. I'm sorry, Georgia, I forgot to mention, is only a 7-point favorite. So Vegas thinks Cincinnati can keep this close.
I honestly do too, and honestly, I think Cincy might be the better team, but they don't have the better talent, if that makes sense. So ultimately, late, I think they're going to end up losing, but I think that's going to be a really close game.
I do too. I'm like you, though. I'm going to go Bulldogs. They have more talent, probably the better coach, too. Also, since switching to JT Daniels, Georgia's offense has been a lot better. So I think they'll be able to move the ball a little bit against Cincinnati, but I think a really close game. I'd probably take Cincinnati to cover that game. I forgot to mention that last week we finished 6-6. I have a 4-game lead over you. So unless you go against the grain here, these next 4 picks.
Might have to.
Yeah, unless well, I'm not sure you will, but unless you go against what I pick these next 4 games, I'm gonna win. In college, at least.
God damn it.
And you're really not going to go against the grain here. Rose Bowl, Notre Dame, Alabama, 19.5-point favorite.
Yeah, I'll go Bama there. Shocker. Big shocker.
Yeah, my friend almost talked me into spending my potential, well, before Trump vetoed it, not to get political, but my potential stimulus check on Alabama, but the money line is insane. So there's no way I'm going to do that. I think the money line was like minus 1,400.
Somebody's doing it, that's for sure.
I can't, even with $600, I'm not doing that. But I like Alabama by a lot. Alabama probably to win and cover.
Dude, they're gonna absolutely dominate. It's not even gonna be that funny.
Sugar Bowl, Ohio State, Clemson. Clemson, a 7.5-point favorite.
I'm gonna go Clemson. I don't think it's gonna be that close either.
I don't either, honestly.
Double digits. I think they're gonna win by double digits for sure.
Clemson is a completely different team, and I've said this on my blog all year. When Trevor Lawrence is healthy, Clemson is a completely different team. We saw it against Notre Dame.
They go from being a great team to the best team.
Yeah, arguably. Yeah, I agree. I'm going to go Clemson, too. I would probably take Clemson to win and cover.
Yeah.
Fiesta Bowl, number 25, Oregon versus Iowa State. Iowa State, a 4.5-point favorite.
I'll go Iowa State. I don't want to, though. I hate Iowa State. Very much.
Look, Iowa State, like Oklahoma, is one of the hottest teams in the country right now. They didn't play well against Oklahoma in the Big 12 Championship, but they had a chance to win at the very end. I just don't think Oregon matches up well. They don't play great defense in Oregon. I think Iowa State's a better team, better coach. I think the Cyclones win.
No, I agree. I really don't like them, and I know you don't like Matt Campbell. So.
I don't either. I think he's an asshole. He just looks like an asshole.
He's probably awesome, dude.
But who knows? This is the one New Year's Six Bowl I'm kind of split on. Orange Bowl, number 5 Texas A&M versus number 13 North Carolina. A&M a 7-point favorite.
That's a good game, but I do have to go A&M at the end of the day. I mean, I think they had, even though you and I both disagree, or both didn't think they should have got in, they did have a legitimate argument to make the little tourney there. So I'll go A&M.
I don't need to go against you. I got the lead, so I'll play favorite here too. I'm not crazy about A&M. I actually think North Carolina can keep this game very close. Yeah. Problem is, I don't really trust North Carolina's defense. I would expect a lot of points to be scored this game. A&M's been very up and down. They've struggled with bad teams.
Exactly.
But I just don't think North Carolina is quite good enough defensively. I would take A&M to win, but but I think North Carolina would cover something like 34-31, something like that. All right, so what's that?
I said yes. I agree with you.
So we have the exact same picks for college football. I'm not surprised.
No.
So let's get to the NFL. We were the exact same last week, 11-5. So your 3-point lead, 3-game lead remains the same. We got 2 weeks left. That's easily doable. I think I can catch ground on you.
Mm-hmm.
So let's start with Christmas Day game, Friday. Vikings at Saints. Saints are a 7-point favorite.
Dude, I'm really fucking close to going Vikings. It's in New Orleans?
It is in New Orleans.
I'll go Saints just because of that, but I promise that's it.
I mean, I'm surprised the line is so much in New Orleans' favor.
Yeah.
7. I mean, did Vegas not watch them last week?
What'd you say?
I said, did Vegas not watch them last week? It just they were awful. Now I will say, New Orleans' defense has played well. It played really well last week. I just don't trust Drew Brees right now. I am going to go with the upset here. I need to catch up to you, and I got to go against the grain here. I'm going to go Vikings over Saints. I'm not confident in it at all, but I think Mike Zimmer could have a really good game plan for just noodle arm injured Drew Brees.
Well, he definitely will. I'll definitely say that.
Saturday afternoon or Saturday noon game, I would imagine, or 1 o'clock game, whichever. Bucks at Lions. Bucks are a 9.5-point favorite.
Bucks.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Bucks too. Yeah, I don't think that game's gonna be close. Well, I will say this: Bucks aren't playing well, but Lions suck.
I think the Lions are gonna mail it in here.
Yeah. 49ers at Cardinals. Cardinals 5-point favorite.
Cardinals and Niners are a bad team right now.
Yeah, I'm done. I'm done with the Niners. I picked them to win. I know I did last week. Maybe recently too. They're just bad. They're going with C.J. Beathard this week. I mean, they're going to their 3rd-string quarterback. Just things aren't looking good for them.
Nope.
Just tough breaks in general for San Francisco. I do feel a little bad. Ton of injuries. They were kicked out of their own city.
Mm-hmm.
Just tough breaks. But if you're the 49ers, just mail it in. Get ready for next year.
Agreed. That's what they should be doing right Because they'll be good again next year.
They will. I mean, they're going to have a top 10 pick, a chance to draft. Another team, I think, could draft a quarterback. Dolphins at Raiders. Dolphins at 3-point favorite.
The Raiders are just like that team that I never know whether I should bet against them or not. I'll go Dolphins.
Yeah. I can't trust the Raiders right now. The Raiders are terrible defensively. And their last 3 games, I think they're allowing an average of 36 points per game. They've fallen off a cliff. I got to go Dolphins. I would pick the Dolphins to win and cover. I'm not sure this game's going to be close.
I do think it's going to be close because the Raiders, are they eliminated from the playoffs yet? Because I do
not
know
yet, but they might as well
not mathematically. But I'm pretty sure I heard today that basically all the AFC wildcard teams are going to be 11-win teams. So yeah, they might be done. They might just nail it in. So I'm definitely going to go with Dolphins.
I mean, a good way to do that is to win this game, or to sneak in is to win this game. But I just can't trust the Raiders right now. And if Derek Carr is hurt, there's no way they'll win. Brian Flores says that Miami defense playing exceptionally well.
Yep.
Falcons at Chiefs. I'll go ahead and say I'm taking the Chiefs. I would not be shocked if Atlanta kept this close with the way the Chiefs have been playing.
Yeah, I mean, I could see it being close, but you know how the end of the game's going to turn up, so I'll go Chiefs.
Chiefs are a 10.5-point favorite.
Yeah.
Browns at Jets. Browns are a 9.5-point favorite.
Brownies.
Yeah, I can't go against the Browns. Jets had a big win. I don't know. I just don't see it happening twice.
Nah, me either.
Colts at Steelers. Colts are a 1.5-point favorite. I was hoping this game might be a little bit of an upset, but the way the Steelers are playing, I don't think anyone should pick the Steelers right now.
Nah, that's the Colts game for sure.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Colts too. I wouldn't be shocked if Pittsburgh turned it around eventually, but no, I'm going Colts. I gotta see it to believe it.
Yep.
From the Steelers. Bears at Jags. I'm hoping the Jags somehow pull it off, but Bears are actually playing pretty well.
Yep.
Last 3 games are averaging over 30 points per game offensively. They've won their last 2. I'm gonna go Bears.
Yeah. I'm gonna go Bears too. I don't feel wonderful about it, but I definitely think that I think they're hot right now. They started the season hot. They went on that big dip, but I think they're hot again. So
yeah, they're sure enough. They get hot before playing Green Bay again.
Yep.
Giants at Ravens. Ravens are 11-point favorites.
Ravens. Giants are bad.
Yeah, Giants. Look, I just want to say Giants, it's been a good season for the most part. I mean, it's hard to say one team is a good, had a good season. They were a good story. It was a good run, but this team's done.
No, 100%.
So my pick is the Ravens too. Ravens are also getting hot. This is the game I was talking about. Bengals at Texans. I flirted with going with the Bengals, but Texans are -8. I can't go against Deshaun Watson in this game.
I'll go Texans, but I just don't see Deshaun Watson losing with the freaking Bengals. So.
Okay. Where am I? Broncos at Chargers. Chargers are a 3-point favorite.
No, that's a game. I'm gonna go Chargers.
I need to have some differences.
That's such a good bad game.
I know. This is actually one of the few games I have not picked yet on my blog. There were 4 games I haven't picked yet. I'm kind of toss-ups on. But I'm going to go Chargers. Just Drew Lock's playing terribly right now. I got more faith in Justin Herbert. Chargers are playing a little bit better, too. All right. Here's one, genuinely. So, I'll get to that later. But Panthers at Washington. Washington is a 2.5-point favorite. This is a game literally I'm 50-50 on. If Alex Smith plays, I'm taking Washington. If he doesn't, I would want to take Carolina.
Do we know what's going on with that yet?
I don't. I saw a report. Let me look it up real quick. See if it
That's
changed. But this, as of last night, I believe, Alex Smith was supposed to play, I believe. Let me see if there's any other news. Hasn't changed. Article from Yahoo Sports: Alex Smith has, quote, real chance to return for Washington in Week 16.
I'll go Washington.
Yeah, I don't feel good about it. I'll go Washington too. I believe if they win this game, they're in, correct?
Mm-hmm.
They only have 8 losses, and the other teams are a game behind. So if they win this game, I think it's over.
They're in, yep. They are. I hope they do.
Or I think it might depend on other teams losing. But Giants are probably going to lose. Eagles, Cowboys, one of those teams are going to lose. Yep. If the Eagles win, I think it's over. Well, I don't know. It might not be.
But yeah, I mean, not mathematically, but it's pretty much over.
Speaking of your Eagles at Cowboys. The Eagles are a 2.5-point favorite.
Yeah, Eagles are going to win that.
This is a sneaky game. Like, no one's going to want to watch because both teams have bad records. But both teams right now are playing somewhat well.
Yeah, better, at least.
Yeah, better. I'm going to go your direction, though, or follow your lead, I should say, and go Eagles. Just Jalen Hurts gives his team a better chance of winning. I have more faith, I suppose, in Peterson and, I just said his name, Jalen Hurts, than I do Mike McCarthy and Andy Dalton right now.
Yep.
All right. One of the better games of the weekend, Rams at Seahawks. Vegas not giving a ton of love to the Seahawks, only a 1.5-point favorite.
I gotta go Seahawks. I just have such a hard time betting against certain quarterbacks, and Russ is one of them. It's tough. They're not playing well of late. I'll tell you that.
Their defense, like, everyone's given their defense love, and it's deserving. Their defense has played well, but it's been against Dwayne Haskins and the Jets, and just these teams that have terrible offenses. And one of those games was against an injured Kyler Murray. I'm gonna go Seahawks. I don't know what I'm getting from the Rams. I'm back to that point with the Rams. I don't know what I'm getting from them after losing to the Jets. I firmly believe, though, they will bounce back in a big way this week after that horrible performance.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with that.
But at home for the Seahawks, I'm going to go Seahawks. I'm not super confident in it, though.
Yeah.
Monday Night Football, Bills at Patriots. Bills a 7-point favorite. This was the game, and I still say, I'll be honest, I flirted with New England here.
Who are they playing again?
Buffalo.
Oh, no. Buffalo's going to win that game.
Well, I agree. But
Buffalo's going to win that game. But no,
I would probably take the Patriots to cover.
To cover, yeah. Yeah, I agree with that.
Just the Bills coming off a big win. They won the AFC East for the first time in, 25 years?
Yep.
I would not be shocked if this team came out flat.
Yeah, I could see that. And I also, I agree with that. I don't think they will, though. I think Josh Allen's riding a high.
I do, too. Even if they do, I think Sean McDermott's going to, make adjustments. They will find a way to win this game, I think, but it'll be close. I would say a 3-point, less than a field goal, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
All right, game of the week. Titans at Packers. Packers right now are a 3.5-point favorite. Sorry.
This is a really good game, man. I'm going to go Packers, but I don't feel good about it. I would be not even remotely shocked if the Titans won.
No, I wouldn't either. So this was a game. I feel like Chris Collinsworth. But this was a game a few weeks ago. So here's a guy. This is a game that a few weeks ago I was sold Green Bay was going to lose.
Yeah.
The closer we get to this game, the better I feel about it. Honestly. And I don't think I'm saying this as a homer either.
Yeah.
Tennessee's defense is bad.
Yeah.
They allow a lot of points. They allow a lot of points on the road. They haven't registered a sack in I think I read 4 games. Maybe 3. But after the way Green Bay's offensive line played last week, giving up 5 sacks, I think Tennessee's catching Green Bay at the wrong time.
Yep, agreed.
I think the offensive line is going to be a lot better. Tennessee's also vulnerable against the run, too. Everyone talks about Green Bay, being vulnerable against the run. And I firmly believe that Derrick Henry's gonna have a big game, monster game in this game.
Mm-hmm.
Ryan Tannehill's probably gonna sling it around. Although I will say Green Bay secondary has played very well the last few weeks.
Very well. Yep.
But I think Tennessee's defense can't get after the quarterback. Their secondary struggles in the passing game. They're also a little vulnerable against the run. They're about middle of the pack like Green Bay.
Mm-hmm.
I think Green Bay is going to be, like I said, I think Green Bay is catching this team at the right time. I think the offensive line is going to play very well. I think Aaron Jones is going to run the ball effectively. They did it last week. They're trying to get the run game involved now that it's cold weather time. And I think Rodgers is going to be comfortable. And a comfortable Rodgers, I think just, if he's comfortable, mail it in. I think Green Bay wins. I'm not sure Tennessee can keep up.
Yep.
So I'm not super confident in it, but I would take Green Bay to probably win and maybe barely cover. Maybe, Tennessee covers, but I would probably take Green Bay to win and barely cover, like a 4 or 5 point win.
Yeah. I think I'd have Green Bay winning, Tennessee covering, probably win by 3.
I think that's fair. And don't get me wrong, I'm worried, but this game doesn't matter.
Exactly.
I'm not worried about the game because it doesn't matter. If we lose, it doesn't matter because we still have the 1 seed.
Exactly.
Then all we'd have to do is win next week. But after the way we played last week, we have don't forget we also have a little extra time to prepare. Just one day. I'm not sure that matters, but you can use that as an excuse. I do worry a little bit about, like kind of apprentice and master meeting.
Mm-hmm.
LaFleur, Vrabel. But I just don't trust Tennessee's defense. I think that's the difference in the game. Green Bay's defense isn't that good either, but
better than Tennessee's though.
I think you would agree. Even though Green Bay's pass rush hasn't played that well, you would take it over Tennessee.
Guaranteed.
Would you take Green Bay's, probably not its run defense against Tennessee, but they're about the same.
Mm-hmm.
But secondary-wise, would you take Green Bay or Tennessee?
Green Bay.
I think Jair Alexander would be able to cover A.J. Brown. Corey Davis is good, but I'm not sure I'd want to rely on him for a whole game.
Yeah.
So I'll go Green Bay. I think Green Bay is matching up pretty well with this team.
Probably the game of the week, though. That's going to be a good one.
In Lambeau, December. If this game were in September, I'd probably go Tennessee. But December, Lambeau. Let me see what the weather is, too. Green Bay weather for Sunday is 34, high of 34, low of 18, 40% chance of snow. This feels like a frozen tundra type of game, and I'm going to take Green Bay to win.
Yeah, that'd be sweet.
That'd be sweet. You got anything else?
No, I think that's it.
We've been going on probably close to an hour.
Yeah.
But I wanted to get this done because
for the
holidays I wanted to get through it. We can enjoy the weekend, even next week a little bit, and come back maybe after New Year's.
Yep. Yes, sir.
All right, my man. I will let you go. Your Christmas shopping's done?
Not quite.
Not quite?
For Pops, but getting there.
All right. I'll let you go. Get your Christmas shopping done.
All right, man. Later.
Later. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, man.